Loud. This is another one of those ESPN deals. It's a Wednesday night, Knicks Cavs, so let's go crazy. Remember when they went nuts TNT on Knicks Cavs on opening night? 2 million watched. One of the smallest crowds they're ever going to get on TNT. But tonight, ESPN's going to make sure the whole world knows. I guess they did a montage today for minutes. I've been all over this, and I probably got to and everything else. I do not understand the fascination right now with NBA regular season basketball. I don't care if Klay Thompson scores 100. Well, I do care if he scores 100, because that's a record. But I don't care how many points he scores, how many threes he makes. I've been around a long time with explosions by offensive players, so I'm not wrapped up in that. I saw Kevin Love score 34 and a quarter this year. I saw Thompson have that great quarter last year. Elgin Baylor scored 71. That's not that important. And I'm not wrapped up in LeBron. LeBron's played New York before. He's played against Wade before. All right? I don't need to see him in Wade. They played last year, for crying out loud, because Wade was on the Heat. Now, I know that Wade's now in the Bulls, so there's 2 different teams, but enough. I do not understand, and I know ESPN is the reason here, but in my circle, outside of my little kids who love it, in my circle, I just don't sense the incredible appetite for NBA regular season basketball. And I love the NBA. And we'll do a spot or two as the season moves along. You heard PJ at the World Series. And we'll do some spots as the season moves along here. You're here Van Gundy. Occasionally you're here PJ. You're here John Barry. We'll get a couple guys on for you just to give you a little update. But I do not understand the incredible fascination. It's all ESPN generated. I don't get it. I know that they're, in bed with the NBA. I understand that, and that's the way they do things: promote, more promote, and everything else. You can make the same argument I'm doing now for the winter meetings, but on the radio, it's a little different. There has been some activity here. Again, Sale gets traded, and we did nothing but football Monday anyway. So I know today we've done a little more baseball than I thought we would, and we've had a couple of managers on. So it's a very, very strange way with this NBA love. I don't get it. Steve Torre's not going home tonight to watch the Cavs and the Knicks. What are you, crazy? He can sit there and say he is, but he's not doing that. Luke will have it on. Colin Russo will have it on. But it's not the end of the world. I'll miss it. If they play 82 games, they're worthless. Let's get ready for Cleveland Golden State. Go play a 7-game series. That's the NBA. And the first round of the NBA is a waste of time because these teams should not be in the postseason. There'll be some interesting battles, and I'll get wrapped up in the 4 or 5 matchups and. What team sneaks into the playoffs? Will there be a surprise as an 8th seed to jockeying for position, avoiding a certain team in a big spot? Try to avoid playing Golden State don't be a 4 or 5 seed. Does Utah make the playoffs? How about the Pistons? See them making some advancement. They played pretty well. Had a good road trip. Where's Boston lined up? It looks like Toronto might be the 2 seed again, but Boston hasn't played Toronto yet, where the Celtics are. There will be some interesting storylines as we get into the middle of March and early April, but then that gets overwhelmed by college basketball. I think all 3 sports have major issues: the NHL, the NBA, and college basketball. I think they are not regular season sports. All 3 sports are postseason sports. The only sport that has got the regular season figured out is the NFL, because the NFL, although 38% of their teams make the playoffs, or thereabouts, was it 12, and there's 32 teams. So if you do the math, maybe a little less than 30, maybe a little more than 30, but that's 12 out of 32 get into the postseason. But it's only 16 games. So every game has a certain amount of significance to it. Baseball's got the great percentage of teams that make the playoffs and teams that don't. There are 30 teams in Major League Baseball, and 11 get into the postseason. Right? Is that right? No, 10. 5 and 5. So in other words, that's 33% they get in. So baseball's got the best percentage of teams in the postseason, but the problem with the baseball regular season is it's 162 games. It starts, April 1st.